because as an academic, I don't get to do debates in public that much. The only debates I do are with my 13-year-old daughter, and she always wins. So I'm a little bit, I do this with a bit of trepidation, but I just want to say how happy I am to be here. I've been working on actually ASEAN cooperation since 1988. I see that's probably before many of you were born. So it's been amazing how much progress has been made in the meantime, since then. But getting to our question today, I think that technically, yes, it is clear that there is a potential conflict between the two. And I would like to underscore some of the reasons why I believe that to be the case in complement to Minister Basri's comments. First of all, obviously, a regional approach contradicts a global approach. And we've known in economics since 1950 that this creates the potential for economic discrimination. That's why we call it a second best approach to things. We have trade creation, in other words, a greater division of labor that's more efficient, but we also have structural change that could be negative because we give preferences to our partner countries. Now, that's the classic case. So we have structural change that may or may not be better off for the regional grouping, whereas we know with the global approach it's going to be positive. And I think that when we look at the current global system, after decades of liberalization in ASEAN and everywhere else, that perhaps this effect is less significant than the effect on investment. Because, as was mentioned earlier, with these free trade areas, we have things we call rules of origin, which require that a certain amount of production be produced within the region. And with these rules of origin, there could be the potential to invest in areas simply because they meet rules of origin. And this could lead to a lot of very negative effects globally. So that could potentially be a real problem. I think that if we look at this in the case of ASEAN, that's particularly enlightening. We heard earlier that intra-ASEAN trade is much less, say, than in the European case. It could be, depending on how you want to measure it, 1/4 to 1/3 of its total trade. But what that underscores is that ASEAN trades mostly with countries outside the region. It's even more pronounced in terms of foreign direct investment, where traditionally about 85% of the foreign direct investment that comes in the region comes from outside. So why would we ever think about doing rules? Certainly it's great to have rules within ASEAN, but they need to be completely consistent with global rules if they're going to be effective, I would say. Otherwise, there could be a problem. So I think that if we're going to have, and we're seeing with some of these